Each will control 20 minutes. The Chair recognizes the gentleman from Virginia.
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that all members may have 5 legislative days within which to revise and extend their remarks and include extraneous materials on House Concurrent Resolution 13 currently under consideration.
Without objection.
Mr. Speaker, I yield myself such time as I may consume.
The gentleman is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, when our Declaration of Independence was penned, it was unique in that the writers of that document recognized that the rights that we have as American citizens didn't come from some committee in this body, some resolution, or even from the King, but rather came from God Himself. In 1814, during the War of 1812, Francis Scott Key noticed through the battle fires that were going on a unique thing and began to pen what would become our national anthem when he wrote the Star-Spangled Banner and mentioned that "In God We Trust" was the motto of this great nation. The 39th Congress of the United States in 1865, during the Civil War, which threatened to tear this nation apart, authorized "In God We Trust" to be placed on certain coins, including the dollar, the half dollar, and the quarter dollar. The 43rd Congress in 1873 authorized "In God We Trust" to be placed on coins as the Secretary of Commerce would so desire and the Secretary of the Treasury. In the 60th Congress in 1908, Congress mandated that "In God We Trust" be placed on all gold and silver coins. In the 82nd Congress of the United States in 1951, the Senate chamber demanded and authorized and then had "In God We Trust" placed in the entrance door over the Senate chamber. In the 84th Congress in 1955, Congress enacted and President Eisenhower approved legislation requiring the motto to appear on all coins and currency. In the 84th Congress in 1956, Congress officially adopted "In God We Trust" as the national motto of the United States. And in that Congress, the Senate said it was important for the spiritual and psychological value of the country to have a clear and well-defined national motto. In the 87th Congress, this body authorized "In God We Trust" to be placed right behind where you're standing, where it still stands today. In the 107th Congress, we reaffirmed the Pledge of Allegiance and once again our national motto. And in the 109th Congress, the Senate reaffirmed the national motto. In the 110th Congress in 2007, Congress said that the dollar coins, that we had to put "In God We Trust" from the edge of the coin back to where it belonged, in the front or back of the coin. And in the 111th Congress in 2009, this body authorized "In God We Trust" to be in the Capitol Visitor Center and then mandated that it be placed in there. Mr. Speaker, so what brings us to today? Well, unfortunately, there are a number of public officials who forget what the national motto is, whether intentionally or unintentionally. There are those who become confused as to whether or not it can still be placed on our buildings, whether it can be placed in our school classrooms. And just almost a year ago, the President, in making a speech across the world, said that our national motto was "E pluribus unum." When the visitor center was opened and tried to be opened, $621 million of taxpayer money, a part of this very structure that you and I are standing in here now, they did not have the national motto in there. In fact, they inscribed in the stones that our national motto was "E pluribus unum." And, Mr. Speaker, we have, because of those kinds of omissions, many people confused today, asking when we changed it, what happened to it, can they still display it in rooms? So we believe that today it's fitting that we come together as a Congress and reaffirm that great national motto, do what the Senate did just a few years ago, and once again make clear to the people in this country that our national motto is "In God We Trust," and encourage them to proudly display that motto. And, Mr. Speaker, with that, I hope and urge the adoption of this measure, and I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman from